Alright, welcome back to the channel. This is Steve again with you. We're going to be doing the inbox review of the Tamiya Stug IV. This kit was made in 1976, and to be honest, it still holds up pretty well. It's a nice build for everybody, especially for beginners and your casual builder. There's probably less than 125 parts in it all together. When you open the box, you'll find a couple sets of instructions. You have the English language instructions, which we're going to use, and you've got the Japanese, which we won't use. There's a Tamiya tech tips, both in English and Japanese. So just the different tools and the different things that Tamiya'd like to sell you. So we'll just put that off to the side, and we'll just start with the instructions. 6 pages on the instructions. Starts off with kind of a layout of the sprues. There's 4 sprues. Then you start with really steps 1 through 4, or the back plate of the hull and the suspension. And again, not a lot of parts, but it all goes together. And the suspension units are single piece, which is nice. You don't have to worry about, a tight track pulling up your front and rear wheel. Then when you move into steps 5 through 9, it really is putting the gun together and the upper hull. And again, it all goes together pretty well. The final steps you run into is doing the skirts, the shirtsen, and then it goes together pretty well. Again, nice fit, no photo etch, all plastic. We won't be using any photo etch in this build. It'll just be all plastic, no resin. It's a pretty simple build. So moving on to the sprues. The first sprue we've got is the A sprue, and it's the suspension items. And you can see that the leaf spring suspension of the Mark IV series is one piece, and again, that's nice. Some manufacturers do this in multiple pieces, and I don't know if it's worth doing, but it does with rubber band tracks. It tends to pull the front and rear wheels up if the tracks are too tight. You've got the idlers, you've got the return rollers, you've got steel return rollers, you've got some of the old motorization final drives, which will be using these because there's no motorization with this kit. Moving over, you got some rear hull items. You've got the rear plate, you've got the mufflers, you've got some equipment, the on-vehicle equipment. And for the time, they're pretty nice. They look the part, and they're worth keeping. You've got some spare road wheels, which is always nice. You've got a spare track holder for the front, and yeah, there's some good detail on those parts. Then moving into the third sprue here, this is the C sprue. This is the upper hull. So with the upper hull, you've got a complete unit for the upper, which is nice. It's one piece. You don't have to worry about getting angles right and getting plates in the right place. It's just one piece. You've got some fenders there for the rear that you're putting on. The gun is in 2 pieces. We'll be using some liquid putty to make sure we get a nice round gun. We've got a figure who we may or may not, do some modification, do just some simple stuff to make him a bit more lifelike. We have some spare tracks. We've got the tow cable, and just some things and more bits and pieces for the upper hull. Put him off to the side. The final sprue are the shirtsen, and it's got all the hangers, and you've got some concrete armor blocks. Some tanks had concrete. I think every army tried to up armor their vehicles. The U.S. was famous for sandbags. You'd see occasional cement armor. Some people did, welded extra armor plates. Patton in Third Army was not a big fan of sandbags. So we've got some knockout holes we need to fill, but that should be pretty easy. And it has 5 sections. We may separate these just so they hang a bit more realistic. But other than that, this is all pretty box standard. We've got the lower hull, which for the time is, of course, a bathtub lower. We've got some motorization stuff from the old days inside and out. you know, for this build, I'm not really going to worry about filling them or trying to detail the bottom of the hole. With this kit, the juice isn't worth the squeeze, and there are kits out there that already have that in place. So this is going to be a nice basic build. For beginners, it's a great build. For people who do a lot of detailed modeling, it's kind of a nice palette cleanser just to get a quick build and get it painted and get something on the shelf. So we've got that. We only have rubber band tracks, and you know, I always think there's a place for rubber band tracks because some people, I don't mind link and length, but individual is a bit tedious, especially on the German stuff. You've got to get the sag right. So I appreciate rubber band tracks. And what I do with these guys is there's four points of contact for the rubber band track to get it together that will melt together. I'm only going to use 2 of those. That'll give me a bit of extra length on the track so I can get it on and off. And I'll hide that connection behind some of the shirts. And so there's 2 of those. You've got the polycaps for the wheels. The polycaps for the wheels, when this was in the 70s, when Tamiya did this was amazing. Monogram used to have you putting C-clips and all kinds of stuff to hold the road wheels on. This is such an elegant and simple solution. A lot of people have copied it, and it's wonderful. Because with this, we'll get it all built. Then we'll pop the road wheels and the tracks off and the shirts and it's just easier with this. We've got a decal sheet with just some generic numbers. There's some units there. I see Panzerlehr is the only one, and I think that's either the 1/16th Greyhound or the 24th Greyhound. Some kill markings, some Balkan crews. And yeah, so we'll try to figure out which numbers to use, maybe find a reference. I'm not building this off a reference for a particular vehicle. So that's the kit in short. So what I want to talk about now is just the tools we're going to need for this build. I mean, we don't want to, there's just some simple tools here. I've got a sprue cutter that I took to Iraq with me in 2012. If you haven't invested in a sprue cutter, these are really good. This is Huron, and I've had this for, oh God, since 2012 at least. Got some sanding sticks. The sanding sticks you get from the hobby shops aren't as good as the ones you get from the beauty supply shop. So if you don't want to go into the beauty supply shop, send your wife, send your girlfriend. She'll be happy to go in there and pick you up some of these. They're like 6 inches long, 1 inch wide, and they do the job. This is a medium. This is a coarse. They do a pink one, which I've never really found a use for, which is extra fine. But invest in these, and they're cheap. And they come in usually packs of 2, 3, or 5, and you can't beat them. The ubiquitous hobby knife. Everybody should have a hobby knife. And when using a hobby knife, just be careful. I can't tell you the matter of times I have just cut chunks out of my fingers with the hobby knife because I wasn't paying attention. Just be careful with the hobby knife. I'm using liquid cement from Green Stuff. I couldn't get thin set. Thin set is generally my go-to glue. But if you can get a hold of really anything like thin set from Tamiya, it'll do the job. It really, I mean, I grew up with tube glue, and this, when I saw this back in the 90s, liquid glue, it was black magic to me. Also, you'll need a putty. This is a MIG putty. This is a liquid one. I've got tube putty, so whatever one works the best. Right now, this is working okay, and at least we'll need this to get the gun tube looking good. So what I'm trying to do in this build is just get something simple, get it built, get some satisfaction out of it, learn a couple new skills if you're a beginner. If you're a full-on modeler like Uncle Night Shift or Scale Model or Hillbilly, sometimes it's just nice to knock a simple project out. I'm not in that league. But for me, sometimes it's nice just to knock a project out. So I hope you can join me for the video series coming up. Shouldn't be too many videos. We've got, there aren't too many parts. Like I said, 112, 125 tops. We'll get this built. We'll get this painted, and should be a good time. You guys take care, and I'll see you soon.